Hi, everyone. I'm so excited to share with you three new books that we have in the library this month. These three books are all about immigrant families in the United States and their experiences with life as a teen and young adult. So let's dive right in. The first book is called Darius the Great is Not Okay by Abid Khurram. This book is about a 16-year-old boy named Darius who is half American on his dad's side and half Persian on his mom's side. He doesn't have a great time in school because he gets bullied and he's never had any close friends. He also doesn't really get along with his dad too well because he feels like his dad criticizes him about everything he does. All of these factors make Darius feel a bit like an outsider and make it harder for him to feel connected to anyone. One day, his parents tell him and his sister that they will all be going on a trip to Iran to visit his grandparents. His sister, in third grade, is excited. However, Darius is a bit apprehensive about traveling to Iran, especially as an American. He doesn't really feel connected to the culture and is nervous to meet his family in person for the first time. Almost immediately after arriving, though, he meets one of his grandparents' neighbors who makes Darius change his mind about his trip to Iran. This book is a heartwarming story, and I recommend this book if you like stories about friendship and learning about other cultures. The second book is called In the Country We Love, written by Diane Guerrero. This autobiography was written by one of the co-stars from the Netflix show Orange is the New Black. In the book, Diane recalls her memories of growing up in the United States with Colombian parents, who were also illegal immigrants. Her parents moved to the U.S. several years before she was born with her older brother. Diane was the only member of her family who was born an American citizen, but she watched her parents struggle her whole life to try to gain citizenship in order to stay in the U.S. Because of this, she felt a lot of pressure to be successful so that she could one day support her family to get citizenship. She was born and raised in Boston and gravitated towards the arts, singing and performing as she grew up. Diane explains what an awesome opportunity it was when she got accepted into a top-performing arts high school in Boston. Especially being from a poor family, she knew her prospects were limited, and she felt she had an obligation to her family to be as successful as possible and do as well in school as possible. A tragic scene unfolds one day when she comes home from school to find an empty house and a neighbor telling her that her parents have been picked up by immigration police and are going to be deported. As a 14-year-old girl, she is terrified of being away from her family and left alone to navigate the rest of her life. Diane's story is heart-wrenching, but she writes it in a funny way that keeps you interested in reading more after each chapter of her life. I recommend this book to people interested in true stories about people's struggles and people that like humorous memoirs. The third and last book is called Messy Roots, a graphic memoir of a Wuhanese American, written by Laura Gao. So, this is a memoir and a graphic novel about the author's life growing up as a Chinese American immigrant. Her family moved from Wuhan, China when she was 4 years old, all the way to Texas, which is incredibly different. The graphic novel depicts Laura's life as a first-generation immigrant to Chinese parents, including many different topics such as family expectations, racism in America, especially Asian hate, and struggles about her queer identity. She spends much of her time trying to fit in with her primarily white classmates in school. It wasn't until she went away to college that she started to appreciate her roots and reimagine how she thought she should be. This book is really funny and charming while still addressing hot topics, such as her being from Wuhan, China during the time of COVID-19. Laura shares a lot of insight that you would only really get from living an immigrant life, which is really interesting. I recommend this book if you like funny memoirs or if you can relate to her story in any way. It's a great read. All three of these books are available in the library now, and I hope you guys can come by and check out these great books. Have an awesome day and happy reading!